Hey, I'm JD. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe. Please hit like. What do I have here? I've got an old Tissot watch. It is old. It needs some serious cleaning, so this will end up being put into an ultrasonic cleaner. I probably will throw the case into the ultrasonic cleaner as well, just to get the dirt off. But I do need to remove the crystal. It's a very old case, and this gasket would be almost impossible to find again. And the back is not too bad, a little bit scratched, but I've polished a little bit. So I'm going to see if I can actually polish this watch as well, and after I've ultrasonically cleaned it. So we're going to see what this looks like after it's been ultrasonically cleaned, and then we're going to see what it looks like after it's been polished. Alright, here's the movement, or the watch case actually, that I'm going to ultrasonically clean. And there is the Flexo strap. It's got some crud in there that's been there for a long time. So I've got this ultrasonic cleaner I use for small jobs. I have a bigger one in my basement, but I usually use this one for small jobs. So all I do is put some ultrasonic cleaning fluid in there. There it is there, jewelry and eyewear, ultrasonic cleaning concentrate. And you just need a single cap for 1 pint. So we're not talking beer here, okay? So I got to get a cap out and pour a single cap of this stuff in there. I should get rid of that because it's no longer needed. But let me just pour that in. And I'll just spread that around. And then I want to fill that up with water. Now this is filled up with warm water, and I just have to put the jewelry basically in here. I'm going to keep this with lugs down, not so as not to disturb the back, but I'm going to keep it with lugs down. Phone is ringing, so that's all I'm putting in here. And then I'll turn that on. And I want to go 30 minutes. Right there. And there it is doing its job. Now I'm just going to put the lid on it and let it go through 30 minutes of cleaning. Hey folks, I'm Buddy Earl. I told my doctor that I broke my arm in 2 places. He said, "Boy, you gotta stop going to those places." And we're almost done. Alright, that's it. This thing gets fairly hot. Just lift this up here and you'll see, just looking down, you can see how dirty it is, right? The crud that has come off these components. The crud, the absolute crud. See if I can reach in here with my tweezers and pull anything out. Alright, so there's, what is that? Not too bad. There is one, yeah, there's the case. That looks pretty nice actually. And that will be, I'll rinse that off after. Just put this down in some watch paper here. And then there is the case back. It gets pretty hot. That's pretty hot. Ouch. There's the case back. That's now fully cleaned. And then I'm going to rinse this out before I take out the strap. The strap's going to be pretty yucky. And what I'll do with this is take a toothbrush and go in between the links and clean that out. So maybe I'll just do this and put it on the side here and then empty this out. And this is what we end up with after a good scrubbing. No more dirt. Still a little bit wet on the inside, but no more dirt. Removed all the scum. This guy here looks pretty good. Still a little bit wet here, but get rid of the fingerprints. It looks pretty good. I'm going to see if I can put a little bit of a polish on that. And the case. Now the case, there's a lot of scratches around here. I'm just concerned with maybe I should just leave them there as opposed to try to clean them all up because they give it personality. But I could do the sides because this was polished at one time on the sides. But this is a satin finish, and if I polish that, that's going to remove the satin finish from the watch and maybe take away its vintage nature. But you can see that how clean it is now from working it. So I'm going to go do a little bit of polishing and I'll be right back. So there we go. This is the polished case. It was marred in a million scratches. Now it looks a lot better. Get the fingerprints off it. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Now I think I could probably have removed every one of these scratches digging deep into the 316 stainless steel, but there's no real need because you want it to have a little bit of character. Otherwise it's just a new watch. So that's that. I didn't do the strap because the strap, again, it's got a satin finish on it and it would remove all the satin finish if I did the strap. And I didn't do the back too much. I did a little bit of a buffing in the back, which gave it a nice clean. There it is there. So it's looking pretty good. So now I just need to reassemble it. The only question here is this crystal. This crystal is very unique to this watch. So I don't think I'm going to do anything with the crystal. I may just use a little bit of cleaning liquid or cleaning material on the crystal itself, and it might scrub up some of these scratches. So we'll try that. So I'm going to use Polywatch and see if this does anything for the crystal. So it might. So I put a little bit of Polywatch on the top of the crystal, and then I just go in circles, and I'm using an older rag here, and see if I can clean up the crystal just a bit with this. It should work because it's plastic, right? It's not a glass crystal, so it should actually do a good job. So I'll switch from that to a clean cloth. Ruining my clean cloth. The mat I use is actually from the dollar store. It's a dollar store mat. So that is actually not too bad there. That's cleaned it up a lot. I'm going to do a little bit more here. Just put a blob of Polywatch on it like this. If you use too much, it's going to melt the crystal and it'll leave a fog. Now I've also used 3000 grit sandpaper to actually sand the crystal down, but this one is a bit domed, and I'm very worried about actually thinning the crystal too much or damaging it because it's so unique. I don't want to damage the crystal. So I think this method is just as good for now. The owner could attack this if they want with 3000 grit sandpaper and maybe do a bit better job, but I think this is respectable Polywatch. There's some videos online about this stuff. I also use Peak, P-E-E-K, or is it P-E-A-K? Let me see. I'll show you what I use here. I'll use this on my own watches here, but yeah, P-E-E-K. So this is pretty aggressive for cleaning and shining. And I have used it on a crystal before, but I'm not going to use it on this because I think that I'm very afraid of causing any melting of this crystal. So that should be good enough, like that. And when I put the crystal back into the case, there's a bit of a gasket right here, and I don't think I'm going to oil the gasket because the owner of this watch is not going to go diving or anything with this watch. It's a collector's watch, so it's not going to hit water. And the gasket, if it's raining out or something, would be good enough the way it is. The gasket just goes along the edge right there. So I put it in like this, the crystal, and there it is pushed in, just like that. Do a little bit on the inside here. That looks pretty good. So just like this. So there we go. So now all I need to do then is install the movement, and then I want to put the rotor back on. So I like to actually install the movement before I put the rotor on. Just gives it some stability while I'm putting the rotor on, but maybe I can do it the other way this time. Let's see. Now if I look at the older picture, I can see which way this insert goes. It goes like this, so it faces upward, which means the stem goes through here. And there's no, as you can see, it's just a hole, so you put that in like this, and then the stem fits through. So I'd go like this, like that, and then the stem fits right through there. So I'll clean up any fingerprints after, but I can drop the movement down into this if I want to right now. And the only reason I wouldn't want to put the rotor on right now is because I don't want it to get in the way of me actually assembling it, because I could assemble the rotor now, but if I do it while it's on the watch, it gives me some stability, I guess. I don't know. We'll figure this out. So I'm going to put a little oil around the shaft of the rotor as well, just a bit. And let's see if I can get this rotor on without any problems. Let me look at if there's a special way of putting this in. So there's a little notch right there. So that notch has got to be aligned with this little dowel there. I'm going to switch cameras. So I think I had my recorder off here, my video, but I took the clip and I just pushed it in there, and that got the rotor in place. And now it's able to swing back and forth to wind the watch. There we go. That'll loosen up a bit more as the oil gets in there. There we go. It's nicer now. So there we go. So that's that. And now I need to just case the watch. Now to case the watch, I need to pull the stem out. And actually, before I do any of that, I need to face the watch. Yeah, so in all this excitement, I got way ahead of myself. I'm waiting for a while to finish this one off. And so what I need to do here is take this movement out of the stand here, and I can flip that around and rest it like that. And I need to put in the hour wheel over the top here. I got to make sure the hour wheel actually integrates in with the minute wheel. There we go, and I can check it at a level. I can look sideways and see if it's good. And that's good there. And now I need to put the face back on. And the face on this watch, it's a pressure fit face. So I just have to pressure fit that back on. Now that face would go with the Tissot facing upward. So if this is, I think the Tissot needs to be like that. So this, I believe, pushes straight down onto the watch. Yeah, it does. So that worked. That's in there now. And you see, make sure everything is still kosher and running, no problems. And yeah, there's no issue here. Still ticking, takes a licking and keeps on ticking. And now I need to take the stem out. I'm always curious of whether I need to pull it out first, then take the stem out, or have it. That's in time setting mode, because some of these you actually need to pull it out first, like that, and then press the stem button. Let me get my get a needle here to do that with. Try not to poke my hand with the needle, and hopefully this works. Yeah, there's the button. Press that in, and now I should just be able to lower this into the movement, like so. Actually, you know what the issue is here? It's got to go in from the other side, I believe. So I think it's got to go over the top like this, which means, yeah, no, I think I'm okay. I hope I'm okay. Like that. Yeah, there we go. The hole is there, which is great. So that's like this, and then the case gets lowered on top of this. So it goes on like this. They're always tricky. Things are always tricky. I don't think I've found a watch that's easy yet. There we go. And that's all aligned. And before I put this down, because that'll push the movement up, I'll see if I can get the crown in. I likely want to press down on... No, I don't need to press down. Good. It seems to be winding, I think. Because what I'm going to do is put in the... these are movement screws here that go in there to hold the movement in place. And there's two of them. Oh, I think one of them goes right here, and the other one likely goes on the other side. So I'm going to just put those movement screws in. Now, I think the good news is if I screw up, there's nowhere for those screws to go. That's usually good news when you're putting in movement screws. Because if there's a place for them to go, that's where they're going to go. That's one. And do that loosely. I'm just going to move the rotor to the other side with my Rodico. And still ticking nicely, and there's the other screw where the other screw goes. I just drop them in and then play with them until they find the hole. Like that, and I'm going to put them in. I put them in loosely. Start off with, and then I can tighten them later. This movement doesn't get snugged in because of the case, the ring here, but this is pressing against the plastic ring. So I'm just going to flip to the other side here. Come on, rotor. This one seems to be fairly tight. I go to a smaller screwdriver and see if I can. No, that's tight, and that one's tight. So that's both of them in nicely. So So then I just need to grab the gasket, and I think I will put a little bit of stuff in the gasket before I install this. I use basic gasket lube here, and all you do is you open this container up and you throw the gasket in like that, and then you rotate it like this, and that gets stuff on the gasket. And you don't need a lot of stuff on the gasket, just a bit. And again, the owner here will not be taking this thing diving or anything, so I'm not as concerned. There's my gasket lube. And let me see if I can fit this gasket on without any problems. There's two ways of doing it. One is you put it on this way, the other is you put it on here. So I'll try this way, see if it fits on here first. That way I don't have to struggle with the movement. Yeah, so it's fitting on here nicely, no problems. And when I tighten that up, that'll tighten everything down. So as you can see how the watch just jumps up because it doesn't want to be housed. Doesn't want to be there. So let me just close this down, say bye. Make sure things are still ticking nicely, and they are. And I'm going to close this up like this. I'm going to use my thumbs. I think if I had a glove on the other side, it probably would be working better. But anyway, so that's that there. And I'm going to use a ball, the watch ball, to actually tighten this. So move this out of the way, make sure it's threaded properly. There we go. Alright, that's tight enough. That's pretty good. Now, what I forgot to do was put the hands on. No, not putting the hands on was not a good thing, but I should be able to press them on. Now I can use a hand press, or I can press them on this way. So it shouldn't take a lot of pressure to put the hands on. What do I do here? I think I'll get out my hand press and show you how it's done with the hand press. So this is a made in China hand press. I use it on pocket watches, and it's pretty accurate. I use a plastic end on this here so I don't cause any undue pressure on the watch. So here, this does not come off. Normally you'd have a movement holder of some sort, but this is a strange size movement. But if I move it over to the edge, I can line this up with the right size. So I can make sure when I push down on this, I'll just show you this. There we go. That this actually goes over the top like that. And so I can align it like this first, and then grab the watch hand, and this would be the hour hand that would go on first. And if I'm really being retentive about this, I'll line the hour hand up. Like that. Make sure that's perfectly aligned, and then press the hour hand down like that. Now I want to make sure that that hour hand is well seated and that there's enough real estate on the top to put the minute hand on. and it looks pretty good. And then the minute hand, if I do the exact same thing, I don't have to worry about aligning the minute hand. So I'll just take it off of this and go over on the side here. Just make sure I don't put it on upside down. That there is perfect. So I should be able to just push that down. There we go. And that just ensures everything is flat. I can look at the distance between the two hands here, and it's pretty good. I probably could press it down just a little tiny bit more. There, that's good right there. And in the second hand, I think I go all the way over to the end here because the second hand is so small. And I actually don't have to worry too much about the alignment of the second hand. Let me grab the second hand. And go off to the side here. I may have to dump it, then put it on. Bear with me here. Please. You kind of just lean it and then you put it on, but now I gotta press it pretty fast so the there we go. That's probably all it needs to be pressed down. And then the watches, the hands are on, and you can see they've already moved a bit. So that's that. Now I can case the darn thing. Now I just put it in the case here and just see if I can push the crown in. Nice and easy. There we go. Probably if I press the button, life will be better. There we go. And as you can see very quickly, it's moving the hands without a problem. That's good. Like that. Now I just have to put those screws back, the case screws, and that should take me a few seconds. Grab the case screw one. I may want to take my glove off because it's causing my hands to slip a bit. Here we go. It found home. And here you're kind of trying not to put downward pressure on the screw, otherwise it just flips out of place. And This movement holder is a bit of a pain. I don't think it's a great design the way they put the movement holder into this watch, but you get what you get. Always move the rotor around with Rodico. That way you don't scratch anything. And it's ticking away like crazy, so it's good news. Sorry I didn't have the camera in the right angle there. There we go. Now when I put the screwdriver in, I don't press down. I kind of hold the screwdriver as I turn this. And now I know it's well seated. Crown's all the way in. And this stupid movement holder just keeps popping up. What a pain in the butt that thing is. Use the Rodico to turn that around. Tighten that case holder. I'm going to use another screwdriver too to tighten that case holder. And use my yellow screwdriver here. Okay, that's good. Now I'm going to get the case back like I did last time. And I can just put that back on like that. I just want it to find home here. There we go. That's going in. And I'm going to use the ball here. Just lick the ball on the back because it gives it a little bit more adhesion. It'll adhere, and then you squeeze the ball a bit and then turn it. And the funny thing about the ball is you can put more air in it. This one was a little flat, so I put a little bit more air in it. And then the back, as you can see, there's marks here in the back that I can clean up later. The ball should not leave any scratch marks on this watch. And I can tell it's winding it right now. This is not a screw down crown. So the time now is around almost 4 minutes after 2. So let me set the watch here to 4 minutes after 2. That's 2 o'clock. That's about 4 minutes, 5 minutes after 2, something like that. And push that in. I'm not sure about setting the date on this thing. I'm sure if I pull it out or twice, it'll set the date, but I'm not going to play with that. And I'm going to recommend the user just don't bother with the date. Although it should work with the problem. So that's it. That's the Tissot. It was in pretty rough condition. It's been fully serviced. And it's looking pretty good right now. Turn off that light. There it is there. You can still see the face has got some marks on it. There's nothing I can do about that. You'd have to refinish the face. This was a gentleman's father's watch, but it's got a nice shine on it, as you can see, and it's fully serviced. So thanks for watching my channel. Thanks for watching this work on this very old Tissot watch, and I'll catch you next time. And I'm JD. Please subscribe, please hit like, and thanks for supporting my channel. I forgot one thing. Putting on the strap. All right, let's see if this works. Ta-da! You just have to have the right tool. This is from one of my San Martin watches. They make good tools as well. Anyway, that's it. There's the watch. And I'll put it on the opposite wrist here, but just so you can see what it looks like. There's Simon's dad's Tissot. serviced and ready to rock and roll. So let's see. Hopefully it keeps good time and it'll run for a long, long time. Thanks a lot. Again, I'm JD. Welcome to my channel. Thanks for watching. Please like and please hit subscribe.